When a narcissist realizes you're gone for good, how they break down. Ever wondered what really happens when you finally walk away from a narcissist and stick to it? If you've reached that breaking point where you're done for good, this video is your essential guide. Today, we're diving deep into what unfolds when a narcissist faces the reality that you're not coming back. If you've experienced the endless cycle of breaking up and reconciling, you know just how challenging it can be. But now that you've made the definitive choice to leave, what's their reaction? Join us as we unravel the intense and often shocking responses a narcissist might have when they grasp that you're truly gone. From their initial disbelief to their desperate attempts at manipulation, we'll explore every facet of their emotional upheaval. Number 1. The Narcissist's Shock. When a narcissist realizes that you are genuinely done and will not return, they are initially overcome with shock and disbelief. They are genuinely caught off guard, as they always assumed you would remain in their life indefinitely. Narcissists operate with a deep sense of entitlement, believing that others will continuously accept their behavior and that their control is invulnerable. They greatly underestimate your ability to stand up for yourself, thinking that their damaging actions will go unchallenged. When you finally reach your breaking point and refuse to tolerate their behavior any longer, their surprise is palpable. Despite any attempts they might make to conceal it, they are profoundly unsettled. They had anticipated that you would endure their mistreatment forever and might even suspect that you're merely testing them. Once you firmly establish that boundary, the relationship reaches its conclusion. Number 2. The Narcissist's Rage and Revenge. Once the initial shock wears off, the narcissist's reaction swiftly turns into anger and a desire for revenge. They become enraged at your refusal to conform to their expectations. In their eyes, you're defying the control they believe they're entitled to, which triggers their explosive fury. This can manifest in various ways: yelling, belittling remarks, or attempts to provoke a strong emotional response from you. These outbursts are a desperate attempt to reassert dominance and punish you for breaking free of their influence. Their reaction reveals their emotional immaturity and inability to cope with rejection in a healthy way. Number 3. Desperate efforts to reconnect. As their anger subsides, the narcissist may resort to frantic attempts to mend the relationship. This can take the form of silent treatment as a passive-aggressive maneuver or an onslaught of promises, false affection, and insincere apologies. They might present themselves as the perfect partner you always desired, trying to draw you back into the relationship. It's important to recognize that these actions are not motivated by genuine remorse or a desire for a healthy relationship. Instead, they are manipulative strategies aimed at regaining what they have lost. If their behavior seems calculated to provoke a specific reaction from you, it's a clear sign of manipulation. Number 4. Shifting to victim mode. As the narcissist continues their efforts to win you back, they often shift tactics by adopting the role of the victim. They attempt to reframe the narrative, positioning themselves as the one who has been wronged or deeply hurt. In doing so, they aim to evoke sympathy, not only from you but also from others in your social circle. This is a calculated move to garner support and shift the emotional dynamics, making you question your own experience and possibly feel guilty for standing your ground. By portraying themselves as the victim, they exploit the empathy of those around them, diverting attention from their previous harmful actions. This tactic is usually part of a broader smear campaign, where the narcissist paints you as the aggressor or the source of their suffering. Through manipulation and selective storytelling, they attempt to rally others to their side, creating a distorted version of events that places them in a favorable light. Their goal is to isolate you by damaging your reputation and credibility while simultaneously playing the helpless victim. This strategy allows them to maintain control over the situation and continues to undermine your confidence, making it more difficult for you to move on and establish healthy boundaries. Number 5. The Mask of Indifference. At this stage, the narcissist may put on a show of indifference, pretending as though they are no longer affected by your departure. This act is simply a cover-up for the deep emotions they are trying to avoid confronting. By acting detached, they create a barrier between themselves and the reality of losing your attention and validation. It's a protective mechanism designed to keep them from facing their own insecurities and the painful truth of their shortcomings. However, this indifference is often more of a performance than genuine detachment. Number 6. The collapse of their ego. When a narcissist realizes that their usual manipulative tactics have failed, they often experience an intense emotional collapse. The loss of control, which is central to their sense of superiority, triggers a deep sense of panic and confusion. Unable to cope with the idea that their manipulation no longer holds power, they may retreat from their social circles, preferring isolation over confrontation. The inflated ego that once fueled their actions begins to crumble, leaving them vulnerable and emotionally fragile. In this state, they may exhibit signs of despair, self-pity, or even rage, as they struggle to process their diminishing influence and inability to maintain control. However, this breakdown is often temporary. Narcissists rarely remain in this vulnerable state for long, as their defense mechanisms quickly kick in to restore their sense of power. After a period of withdrawal and self-reflection, they typically regroup and recalibrate their approach. Once they feel capable of regaining control, they return to their familiar patterns of manipulation and exploitation. The momentary defeat may make them more cunning and calculated in their behavior, as they strive to reclaim the power they momentarily lost. In most cases, the narcissist's cycle of manipulation continues, only now with a heightened awareness of what led to their previous failure. Number 7. Bitterness and self-justification. As time passes, the narcissist's emotions shift into bitterness. They reluctantly come to terms with the fact that you are not coming back, but their ego won't let them fully accept responsibility. Instead, they turn to self-justification, convincing themselves that you deserved the outcome or that the separation was inevitable. This rationalization allows them to protect their fragile self-image. While the resentment may seem to fade, it often leads to attempts to reinsert themselves into your life, seeking another chance to regain control and validation. To protect yourself, focus on maintaining the boundaries you've set and prioritize your own healing. Emphasize personal growth and self-care as you move forward. In conclusion, the narcissist's reaction to losing you follows a predictable pattern, from shock and rage to manipulation and ultimately bitterness. They will go through various emotional stages, but the most important thing to remember is that these reactions are rooted in their need for control, not genuine remorse or change. By standing firm in your boundaries and focusing on your own healing, you prevent them from re-entering your life and continuing the cycle of manipulation. Remember, their emotional collapse is not your responsibility. Your growth and well-being come first. Continue to invest in your personal development and self-care, and let them deal with the consequences of their behavior. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this deep dive into the narcissist's breakdown has given you the clarity and strength to continue standing firm in your decision. Remember, their reactions are about control, not change. Your healing comes first. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video on empowering yourself and breaking free from toxic relationships. Stay strong, stay focused on your growth, and remember, you deserve peace, not manipulation. See you in the next video, and until then, take care of yourself.